Hello everyone, so today I'm at Universal Orlando Resort and I'm gonna go check out the Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon attraction, and we're gonna get a studio tour of the attraction.
Yeah. This lovely man right here is gonna give me a studio tour at the Jimmy Fallon ride.
Welcome to 30 Rock, guys. This is a recreation of the 30 Rock in New York. Starting on our left-hand side, you can see a bunch of posters. All of these posters are the same posters we have in New York in the 30 Rock. As soon as they change a poster over there, we have to change it over here. Even if it's just the words at the bottom, we have to say as up to date with them as possible. This desk took $2 million to bring from New York to pay for one day's worth of butterbeer sales. Over here, we have a black and white camera. It was in service from 1947 to 1955. Of course, just sitting in storage. Fully restored, and at least for the dolly it is, from 47 to 55, and then you can kind of watch it get scaled down over here into the high definition, standard definition era. This is 1990s for the Jay Leno era, if you will. You notice it's kind of cold in here. I mean, you guys can't tell that it's cold in here, but it is very cold. It's part of the theming to make sure that the cameras don't overheat, because if they overheat, we don't have a show. But to keep our crew warm, we have these two jackets. Starting with circa 1970s design and then post 1986. Starting with the father of late night and our youngest host, Steve Allen, from 1954 to 1957. Steve Allen wrote over 8,500 songs in his lifetime and 50 books, earning him 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, 1 for music and 1 for television.
God, I don't even have one.
No, you don't. Maybe one day you'll have one for vlogging.
Yeah.
I have one. These are his actual glasses that he did wear on the show. A lot of musical stuff in here because he was a super musical guy. And in every single display case, you'll see a TV that matches the era that you would have watched them in. But then we moved over to Jack Parr. Now, Jack Parr was the first host to start doing the Tonight Show named after the host. So for Steve Allen, it was just the Tonight Show. And for Jack Parr, it was starring Jack Parr and then starring Johnny Carson. One of our more controversial hosts, doing an episode with Fidel Castro, doing an episode at the construction of the Berlin Wall. And of course, most notably known, infamously at least, for making a joke about a water closet on the air. So risque for its time, he got censored live on the air, stormed off mid-broadcast and said there's got to be a better way of making a living than this. And then he came back 2 weeks later and said, well, I've looked, and there isn't, which prompted a standing ovation and laughter from the crowd. But he made way for the most important host. Then we move on over to Johnny Carson, who is the king of late night, the record holder for 30 years. He actually was awarded an Emmy at the end of his run. That is a real Emmy. It's not a prop. 1992 Outstanding Variety Music or Comedy Series. Starting from Carson on, you'll start seeing suits in all of the display cases. All of these suits were worn by the hosts and all on-load families. He would be tapping his pencils like crazy during the show. It drove the sound guys nuts. It messed with the audio. And he would also throw them in the audience a lot, and they're like, Johnny, you're gonna knock someone's eye out. So they took all of his pencils and they put erasers on both sides. It's very funny. He is so influential for all of NBC's history. He launched the careers of so many people. Jay Leno, who would then go on to replace him on The Tonight Show, Ellen DeGeneres, who has her own NBC talk show, and of course my personal favorite, Jerry Seinfeld, who would then go on to do Seinfeld, which is probably one of the most successful shows in NBC history.
I think I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah, just a few times. He negotiated the time slot for SNL. It's the reason that is on a Saturday. He only wanted to do his shows from Monday through Friday, which opened up the time slot for SNL, and that's been running for almost 50 years later now. First Tonight Show host I ever watched on the air, Jay Leno, starting in 1992 and going all the way to 2009. Owning over 1,000 motorcycles and 250 cars that he showcases in his own show, Jay Leno's Garage. While filming The Tonight Show once, he looked over and saw a beautiful girl in the middle of the studio audience. Went to commercial break, he went over there, they started talking, and they have been married to this day, which is very sweet.
Dang.
And now you'll notice up here there are 2 time frames for Leno. Now, that's because Conan O'Brien, who started writing The Simpsons when it used to be funny, and SNL when it used to be funny, came over here, started hosting The Tonight Show. Why is it so short? He only hosted for about 7 months. He took The Tonight Show from the #1 late night show to the #3 late night show. NBC paid him $45 million to leave his contract. Went back to host for 4 more years, and then we bring it back to my personal favorite, of course, Jay Jimmy Fallon hosting from 2014 to the present. Kind of like how his middle school peers predicted he would. In his actual middle school yearbook, donated by Jimmy for the ride. Third one down, you'll see James Fallon will replace David Letterman on the Late Night Show, which he did and then became the host of The Tonight Show. He originally came to Universal with the idea for this ride, but they were not really a huge fan of him on late night, so they're like, no, we're gonna have to pass. Then he became the host of The Tonight Show. It was an instant hit, and then they eventually came back to him and they're like, we want to do your ride. We have his actual suit. Now, he didn't wear this one while taping the show. He wore this one while taping the ride. He's one of the very few real things in the ride. A lot of it is green screen and CGI. Of course, another real actor being his wife and kids, which is very sweet. Once you stop halfway through the ride with Jimmy's Pizza on your left, you're gonna see his wife and his kids, which is very sweet.
Aww.
He's standing on his good luck charm right over here, the golden four-leaf clover. He stands on that in every monologue he does, as shown over here. It's also on the side of our ride vehicle. It's what we tap to make sure your seatbelts are locked and secured.
He's looking good here. Is he by chance like a model?
Jimmy Fallon was a Calvin Klein model during his SNL days. Of course, a very popular SNL alumni. He didn't make a ton of money, but you know, he went over to Calvin Klein, and he's the last person you'd think would be a Calvin Klein model.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that later. That's interesting.
He also blew his chance to date Nicole Kidman.
Oh,
So,
he
yeah.
could have been in the AMC ad. Tell me about this carpet.
This is the same carpet we use in New York. Any little detail to make it as authentic as possible. Really immerse and feel like you're in New York and not a theme park.
What's going on in this
So
crazy
you'll notice
room?
over here, it's not really a standalone line for this ride. It's kind of like a lobby and a lounge. You can sit up here, charge your phone, enjoy the AC and the hot Florida sun, which is very nice. You know how when you go to a restaurant, it's kind of like a Chili's. You know when you get that like buzzer?
I love
You're like,
Chili's,
oh my god,
yeah.
the buzzer's buzzing. It's time for our table. That's kind of what it's like over here. These lights will change the color of the feathers you're given downstairs. Feathers that represent each feather of the NBC logo. It'll go clockwise. Once it rings your color, it's time for you to go into your table in the Tonight Show. And while you're waiting over here, you can either see hashtag the panda or the ride tomorrow. Across the street, you'll see Gramercy Park, which is one of it's an invite-only park in New York. Of course, the general public can't go. It's not like Central Park. But when they were building New York, Universal Studios, they were like, you know what? Let's do a park where everybody can join and everybody can visit and enjoy. So now it's our smoking section.
That's awesome. Very environmentally friendly.
Probably one of the coolest views you will get of the park.
Universal. Whoa.
You'll see this compass. A lot of people like to say it's the center of Universal. That's a lie for clicks. It's just a replica of the compass on top of the actual 30 Rock building in New York.
Interesting.
And it is true north, east, south, and west. Over here, we have our US and our world map over there. Each of these pins is a different family or person who's come from so many different walks of life. It's very cool, of course. A lot of people from Orlando, a good amount from California, and a lot of people from New York who are like, God, let's go to Orlando and see a recreation of New York.
So thank you to Mateo for that wonderful studio tour. If you guys are interested in doing a studio tour of Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon here at Universal Studios, just go up to the entrance and ask if they're doing studio tours today. And generally they'll say yes, and they'll be able to take you around, show you what you just saw, and some more that I didn't show. I also forgot to mention, with the studio tour at Fallon, you get to ride it at the end of the tour. So I didn't ride it, because you could opt out if you want to, and I didn't really feel like riding it today, but that does come with the tour. So if you guys want to ride that ride, that's a really cool way to up your experience. I spent most of my day taking photos around the park, so I guess maybe I'll include a little montage.
Okay, this was a mistake. So busy. Line for ice cream right wraps down this walkway all the way past the ice cream shop. But there's the dragon.
So there's a little summer booth over by Richter's, across from Fast and Furious, and I got the Nashville Hot Honey Mac and Cheese. So the hot honey really complemented the chicken well, but it was kind of a weird flavor combo with the mac and cheese. So I don't know if I would get that again. If I got it, I would probably just get it with the regular hot sauce that it comes with instead of substituting for hot honey. But overall, it was kind of hurt my stomach, but it wasn't bad. Maybe like 5 out of 10. I'm seeing a lot of Jurassic World Dominion posters in the Universal Studios store, so I figured I would go check out the store and see if they have any new merch. Right after admiring this beautiful sign, I love anything tie-dye, and I love this. It's 30 bucks. There's an Iron Man one too. I don't know which one I like more. Probably this one. This looks new to me. It's 27. And they have this one as well. I've never seen this Mr. DNA sweatshirt. It's 55. And this looks new. It's 30. This zip up is 50. Now this is cute. I really want it, but it's 40. They've got this wallet for 18. This movie tee is 27. They've also got a lot of pennies of like classic movies and stuff. That's the end of my day here at Universal Studios. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, and I'll see you guys later.